and we sat in the Legends Suite. So I guess the technical term, and this was outlined by your son, Vinny, at the Ticket Bash barbecue yesterday, is that when you sit in the Legends seats, you have a food coma. So today I have the ending results of a food coma from the Legends Suite last night at Yankee Stadium. So once again, I apologize for the condition that I am in today.
You're always a 10. And I have to speak to my son later on about using all my material.
That's your material, food
come
coma?
Come on, all his material's from me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was original material from...
No, it doesn't have a TM on it. There's no trademark. I forgot to trademark it.
I asked if, before the show, if it's okay to call him Vinny Tickets Jr., and you said he doesn't like that reference, so just... Vinny. VV.
A lot of them do VV.
VV. Okay.
VV.
Well, he's the one who told my wife Cheryl at the barbecue yesterday that he calls it a food coma. So, VV, I'm stealing your line because I am in still the next morning after a Sunday night game. I am in a Yankee Legends Suite food coma.
Yeah, maybe food lag.
Yeah, food lag. There you go. All right. Again, great material from Vinny Tickets. Even if it's stolen or not, it's great material.
I just made that one up.
It is time for the Sports Bash Flash. It is brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner is located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash, get a free dessert with your meal. I really can't think about food, although I will tell everybody, please go to the Embassy Diner. They're great sponsors of the show. I don't know when the next morsel of food I'm going to eat will be, but I can assure you that there's a very good chance that that next morsel of food will be at the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where just everything is phenomenal. Let's begin last night at Yankee Stadium, where Rafael Devers homered twice, leading the Red Sox to a 3-0 win over the Yankees in the rubber game of a 3-game series in the Bronx. Manager Aaron Boone's Yankees have lost 15 of their last 20 games.
Feels terrible. Yeah, I mean, you got to be a little sick to be in this game, though, and you got to be able to weather it. So, you know, you'd like your stretch where it's a bump in the road to
spit it out, Aaron.
This kind of stretch, you'd like to weather it a little bit better.
I mean, how many more times can we be down this road with the stuff that comes out of this guy's mouth? I mean,
he stays so calm.
I mean, can you?
You have to get emotional. I'm emotional about it.
Explode a little bit.
Yeah.
Explode a little bit, Aaron.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
As a leader, you need to show passion. Passion for the good, passion for the bad. And remember that when you're a leader, the followers will work with the same energy that you have. So get excited, get mad, get angry.
But this is the mind-boggling thing about Aaron Boone. I would love to hear about this from the Yankee fans at 631-451-1039. He'll show the emotion when he argues a call and gets thrown out of the game all the time. And I know I sound like a broken record with that, but like, can you sound a little angry? I know you're the mouthpiece. You're not really the manager of the Yankees because there is no manager of the Yankees anymore with the stupid analytics department and the manager getting the lineup card made out for himself, and they have to tell you can't play this guy in 3 straight 705 starts, but you can play him in back-to-back 110 starts, like all the nonsense that comes with analytics these days. But just show a little fire, show a little emotion. I mean, your team is in a malaise that, quite frankly, Vinny, I don't know if they're going to come out of this.
Now I'll show some emotion.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely, they're coming out of it.
You're a little more optimistic than I am.
I'm Yankee through and through, baby.
Well, here's something to be optimistic about the game last night after a few terrible starts. Luis Gil had a terrific outing last night. 1 run, 4 hits while striking out 9 over 6 2/3. And the Yankees are off today before they open the series with the Rays at the Trop on Tuesday night. Now, there was better news for the New York Metropolitans yesterday. Mets were down to their last out, trailing the Pirates 2-1 in the top of the 9th inning. Francisco Lindor was up facing former Yankee Aroldis Chapman.
Chapman set the 1-1. Line drive left field, falling in. Base hit by Lindor. Gamble scores. Bader rounding third. He scores. The throw is cut off on the way to the plate. The Mets take the lead with their backs against the wall or against Aroldis Chapman. Lindor drives in 2, and the Mets have a 3-2 lead in the 9th.
Keith Radd on WCBS 880. The Mets beat the Pirates 3-2. I have to say, again, I'm not a Mets fan, but my wife and kids are, so we're listening to the Met game. in the car on the way to Yankee Stadium.
How long did it take you, by the way?
A little over an hour, maybe an hour and 10. Not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Not too bad. Yeah, it's actually just really the only bottleneck was a little bit of traffic because of the construction on the Bruckner. But aside from that, smooth sailing all the way. But we were able to hear the last inning of the Met game. And I have to say, and again, I'm not a Mets fan. My wife and kids are. I am not. It brought me a lot of joy to see Francisco Lindor get that hit off of Aroldis Chapman. And I said to my family in the car, I wonder if Aroldis Chapman was smiling after he gave up that hit, because that's all he did when he gave up big home runs for the Yankees, including the ones to the Astros in the ALCS that the Yankees didn't win. Remember, he gave up that home run. It was Altuve who hit the home run, and he's standing on the mound laughing. And I'm like, what's that? You just gave up, a series clinching home run to your at the time arch rival. So it actually brought me great joy to see the Mets come back and beat Chapman in that game yesterday. Mets have now taken 2 of 3 so far against the Pirates, and that 4-game series in Pittsburgh will conclude this afternoon with Christian Scott on the hill for the Mets. First pitch is at 12:35, and I also did want to bring this up, and I did for Pete's take on this today, but the U.S. Olympic men's soccer team going to Paris, France for the Olympics this summer, and Chatham, New Jersey native and Red Bulls defender John Tolkien this morning was selected to be on the team. So it's always great to see the Olympic team do well, and the United States has not had a men's team in the Olympics since 2008. But not only to have the team going to Paris, but to have a local player, and not just a player on the local team, but he's from New Jersey. So that's great to see local representation in Paris, France this summer.
It sure is. And we'll be doing some coverage of the Olympics, what's going on with that. So,
do you speak French?
Parlez-vous français?
That's about all I.
That's all I could say.
That's about all. And I was born on Bastille Day, which is coming up,
July 14th.
There you go. So I celebrate my birthday every year with 2 things: French onion soup and French fries. Right? It's got to be centered around
great
food,
combo.
right?
Yeah,
there you go.
great
so
combo.
Why not? It was brought to my attention a number of years ago that my birthday, I didn't know it until the time, but a friend of mine said, your birthday falls on Bastille Day? And I didn't know what Bastille Day was. And I like history. Like, I loved social studies in school, but I didn't remember what Bastille Day was. But now I know that Bastille Day is on my birthday, July 14th, and I will have French onion soup and French fries on that day.
Together?
Maybe at different points during the day. I don't want to have it together because I don't want my doctor to hear this. And I'll get enough flack from my doctor about other things going on. But I do. It's every year. It's a tradition. French onion soup and French fries on Bastille Day, my birthday. There you go. So a lot to talk about. A big Mets win yesterday, and the Yankees continue the stretch of just horrible baseball, 15 out of 20. And now they go to Tampa. And again, I use the term sound like a broken record all the time, but the Yankees got to get out of this.
Yeah,
They
haven't won a series. I think it's 3 weeks now.
It's 7 straight series now that they have not won. They had a chance to do it last night, and they didn't do it. And again, they had chances with runners in scoring position last night and didn't get the job done, hitting into double play, striking out. Aaron Judge is kind of in a little bit of a slide as well, though he almost hit a home run to left side. I thought it was gone when the ball came off the bat, and you see the center fielder kind of drifting back, and he's not. That one's not going to go out. Even DJ LeMahieu, I thought at first his was going to go out, and he's another one. I mean,
he's below Mendoza forever.
He
doesn't have a home run yet.
No home run. Last night was only his 3rd extra base hit, the double he had. And just, again, this looks like the old Yankee lineup before the beginning of this year with Soto, and it's a huge problem. But we could talk about that. 631-451-1039. Lots to come when we come back. We'll have This Day in Sports History. We'll look at our poll question from Friday and also the one for today. We'll preview our big special show coming up later today. That's when Sports Bash comes back. But stay with us on Facebook and YouTube. We'll have a little bit more before we welcome back our radio audience. It's Sports Bash, presented by Ticketbash.com, and we're coming right back. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike. Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, back with you on Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Welcoming back our radio, our Facebook and YouTube audience while we await the return of our radio audience. And I just want to address something really quick on the show. Last night at the Yankee game, I was sitting in legend seats, and the legend seats were supplied by my other employer, WFAN and Odyssey. And I just want to react to something that was said this morning on Boomer and Geo, where it was poked a little fun at me that I took the 8 tickets that were offered to me when the dates came up, right? And apparently there's some controversy that a client wanted the tickets for last night, and they were wondering why I had all 8 tickets, and they were offered to me, and it was you would be led to believe that I demanded those tickets for last night. No, those were the tickets that were offered to me last night. So I just want to make that clear. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. But I don't think anybody that knows you, whether it's Boomer, Geo, or anybody else there, could ever think that Peter would ever demand anything. You're the most easygoing person I've ever met. So.
And we're going to welcome back our radio audience in 2 seconds. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Number to call is 631-451-1039. It's Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, taking your phone calls about the Yankees and the Mets and lots of other things going on in the world of sports. But right now it is time to look back to Friday's Sports Bash media poll question. And we will post a new poll question every weekday on the Sports Bash Media X Twitter page. First, let's look at the results from Friday's question. And that question was, what should the Yankees do as they continue to slump, which obviously continued through the weekend, losing 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox. So the choices were fire Aaron Boone, fire Brian Cashman, make some trades, or forget it, the season is over. And a good number of people, the winner is make some trades. That there's a lot of Yankee fans that feel that the season can still be salvageable. I'm starting to lose a little belief that that's possible, but okay, I'll go along with it. 49% said make some trades. The next one after that was 20% for Aaron Boone, then fire Brian Cashman 16%, and forget it, season over 15%. Where does Vinny Tickets lie in that poll question?
Well, I'm with the majority. Well, almost the majority there. We're a point away from the majority, but I will say this: I'm shocked that any Yankee fan or any fan could say the season's over. They're right there.
No, I don't think the season is over. But
but 15%. That's 1 out of 7 people said.
But I'm just starting to lose a little patience in the fact that again, you get into a slump after, and look at the way the Yankees were winning games at some point this season. They were just winning games at a ridiculous clip, and now it's almost gone back in. If you map out the streak that the Yankees are on now, losers of 15 of 20, that puts you in 1962 Mets, territory,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So, not to poke fun at the Mets. I was trying to think of a really bad team that came to mind, and that was it. But they have to get out of this, and the problem is that there are too many things happening right now that make you look back to what happened last year.
Yeah, well, keep this in mind that there's 162 games throughout the year, right? And they definitely have what in business there's a term called proof of concept. Proof of concept is if something's been done already, it could be done again. So we have won. We've won convincingly. And I think there's a proof of concept. But the nice part about it is we have Garrett Cole in that proof of concept now where we didn't have him before.
Right.
So,
but he's working his way back slowly. He hasn't
yes.
been the Garrett Cole that we have come to know. But again, he's coming back. He's only 3 starts into his return. So you have to look at that as being a positive that, some things you can look at it like, Judge will come out of it. Soto will come out of it. You're going to get some injured players back. Cole will get back to where he is. And look, and let's be honest, despite the loss last night, Luis Heel turned it back in the other direction where he was for most of the year this year. I was surprised he was not named to the All-Star team, but Clay Holmes, who again keeps blowing games left and right, he was the Yankees reserve. And congratulations to the Mets' Pete Alonso, who is going to the All-Star game. He's also going to be in the home run derby. But I couldn't believe that they picked Clay Holmes to be the Yankees' All-Star reserve ahead. Even though he was struggling, I would have put Luis Heel in the game.
Yeah, that was a strange one.
Today's question. Are you ready for today's question?
Sure.
And this centers around the fact that we will be at the Marty Lyons Foundation Celebrity Golf Classic later. And it is expected, I was told, Mark Gastineau is going to be there. He was not at last year's event. He's going to be at this year's event.
Should be pretty easy to find, right?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we hope to have him on the show, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. But here's today's poll question. How should Mark Gastineau be honored for his career? Now, he's already in the Jets Ring of Honor. Got the green jacket, all that stuff. But here are the choices for the poll today. Number 99, retired by the Jets, elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, where he would join Joe Klecko from the Sack Exchange. Both retire the number and put him in the Hall of Fame. And the fourth choice, Jets Ring of Honor is enough. Where would you stand on that as a Jets fan?
As a Jet fan, I you know what? I think the Ring of Honor is enough. I think it's enough for a Gastineau type person. I know Wiz is going to give me some pushback on that.
I would argue Mark Gastineau, in terms of just dominance at his position, he was better than Joe Klecko. Granted, Klecko was better all around, but you look at also Gastineau, he had more All-Pros than anyone from that Jets team. He led the league in sacks twice and held the sack record for a very long time. He was also part of the Pro Football Reference's all-decade team for the 1980s and was arguably the best sack master of that decade.
Here's what I will say about Mark Gastineau. I loved watching him play. He walked out on the Jets at the end of his career. He got involved with Brigitte Nielsen, messed up his mind, whatever it was, and he walked out on the Jets. And other Jet players have worn 99 since he retired.
Yeah.
So he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And the difference between Klecko and Gastineau is Klecko was so good for such a long time, was beloved. I think if you talk to most Jet fans who grew up with that team, they loved Klecko more than they loved Gastineau. Mm-hmm. Gastineau rubbed people the wrong way. There were players on his own team that didn't like him. Yeah. So I'm torn on this because, I'd love to see another one of the players that I grew up watching in the Hall of Fame. I just don't. I think there was just too much baggage for either of those two things to happen.
Yeah,
I think there's a better chance that the Jets retire his number, even though I still don't think it's going to happen, than getting in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Think about how long it took Joe Klecko to get in.
Right.
And he deserved to be in 20 years ago, and he didn't get in. So let you go to the X Twitter poll question on X and Twitter and place your vote. Right now it's time for This Day in Sports History, and we welcome in a man who complained about the menu at the Ticket Bash barbecue yesterday. Here's WizKid Vinny.
Hey, listen, I loved the menu itself. I just wish there was a little bit of vegetables.
So you're complaining about the menu?
I'm not.
You did. You were invited to a party. It's not even my party, and I think I was more angry about it than Vinny was. But you were invited to a party, and you had the nerve this morning to complain about the menu.
I was just saying that I love the food there. Never mind.
Okay, cut your losses, and let's have This Day in Sports History.
Okay, well, on this day back in 2015 was arguably the beginning of the end of the moniker of the Washington Redskins. Now, for most of my entire life, and I'm pretty sure most of your lives too, the name Redskins was heavily debated among Native American rights groups, also people that say they didn't want the name, or ones that wanted to keep the name because of the history. And they lost the trademark because the term Redskins is seen by many as a slur. And that was eventually the beginning of the end, because in 2020, they were forced to remove the name because of pressure from FedEx and Pepsi during the whole George Floyd protests. And they had Washington football team for a couple of years. Then they went to Washington Commanders, and now Dan Snyder's gone, and then they might change the name yet again.
I don't think it's ever going to go back to the Redskins. I think what's done is done.
Yeah, that's done.
Good job, Vinny, even though you were complaining about the menu yesterday. A lot of good stuff coming up this week on Sports Bash. Later today, we're going to be at the Marty Lyons Foundation Celebrity Golf Classic at Old Westbury Country Club. That's coming up at 5 o'clock. Facebook and YouTube streaming live. We're going to have a lot of guests. Marty's going to join us, some other former Jets, other celebrities. That's coming up later today, so tune in at 5 o'clock on Facebook and YouTube on the Sports Bash media page. Tomorrow's Free Ticket Tuesday. Mets and Rockies tickets for Sunday. 2 tickets, right?
By the way, that's Bastille Day.
That is Bastille Day. Sunday is my birthday. Bastille Day. Yes, absolutely. So celebrate with French fries and French onion soup. Also tomorrow, Mike Nelson is going to join us in studio, the president of the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation. He is part of the team running the Long Island Shootout for Soldiers this Thursday and Friday at John Burns Park in Massapequa. They use lacrosse as a platform to support American veterans and foster community engagement. It's a great event, a 2-day event, and just a wonderful thing that they do. So we'll have Mike Nelson in studio tomorrow to talk about that.
Yeah, great cause.
This Thursday, former WCW President Eric Bischoff, one of the most influential personalities in the history of pro wrestling, will join us over the phone. And that will do it for this edition, another action-packed edition of Sports Bash presented by Ticketbash.com. Thanks to our sponsors, the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, Falcone Law Firm, the Marty Lyons Foundation, Collaborate Studios. For Vinny Tickets, I'm Peter Schwartz. Don't forget, 5 o'clock today, Facebook and YouTube, Sports Bash Spotlight from the Marty Lyons Foundation Celebrity Golf Classic. And we will be back with our regular show tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, a Free Ticket Tuesday tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.